Welcome to Contextual Electronics. My name is Chris Gamble. Today we're going to be going over how to add board dimensions to your drawing. And this is useful for something that we'll work up to, which is creating fab drawings, which is sometimes what you want to do and send to your PCB manufacturing house. So let's take a quick look how to do this. It's pretty simple, but the first thing I usually do is I make sure that my coordinate axis is set right where I want it to be. And it looks like I started this drawing pretty much where I wanted to, but I want to set the coordinate axis right in the middle of this line. It doesn't actually look quite like it's in the middle, so I'm going to try and change it a little bit here. So I'm going to change the smallest grid I can, and just even eyeballing, I'm just going to try and create the corner point here. It looks like I might actually be grabbing a corner that already exists there. So like looking at where it is on these different things, it actually does look like it is in the center point here, but I'm going to click, and you see it actually drops that x inside of 0. What that means is that now everything on this coordinate axis is relative to it. It is still at this weird position here, right? So you see that it's 9.715, so there is quite a bit of significant digits here. So it's not exactly on 0, 0, 0, 0. You're not resetting the general axis. That is still, the absolute axis is still set otherwise. But what this means is that when we then up the grid to something like 1 millimeter, now if we go from right over top of this to the next point where we can actually draw something. So let's see if I draw a trace. Can't do it on top of there. Let's see. So if I draw just a line here on the silk screen, and I draw it to the next point, it's going to be 1 millimeter away, and it's going to be that incremental hops that we're looking for here. And so the reason I want to do that is because when I'm going to then add the dimensions, I might want to do something like, okay, so I want my no more than 0.25 amounts of precision here. And so what I'm going to do is now grab the dimensions here, start from that starting point, and now go to the other side of the board here. In this case, it looks like it lines up pretty well with this, and it looks like when I was creating this board, it was 97 millimeters. And so it's also going to depend on how well you draw, or how you actually draw your board to start with. So I'm going to click to finish. This is actually on the silk screen layer here. What you can do is mouse over, hit E, and we can actually change not only the text width and all that other stuff, we can also change the layer, and I usually do that. I usually put it on something like the drawings layer. That turns it into gray. And then over here, what I'll do is I'll start drawing again from the starting point. And then I'll go to the edge here, and that looks about right. And again, you can see that I definitely did create this board outline. This is the one that I imported from a DXF file. It was definitely 97 by 67 when I imported it. So there is that to know. You can do the same thing though. So now if we do from the center of the center of this point here, I can grab the center by just hitting M. Right. So now I'm right over top of it. I can hit 0 and start from the 0 point here. Now you see it's not quite at the same point. And if I want to add some measurements here, I'd start from here to the next center point. I didn't actually drop a hole there, and now we could actually add dimensions for something like this. So now that we see the holes are 86.25. Now, like I said, this is all in preparation for a fab drawing you might send to a fab house, and that is something that we'll go over in future videos. But this is just an easy way to add dimensions and then push them onto a different layer. The other nice thing is that I definitely leave them off the silk layer because oftentimes I'll turn this drawing layer off. I don't want to see it in regular course of action, but I might want to when I set up the initial board outline, I do want to see the dimensions. That's just a quick look at board dimension outlines and adding dimensions to your drawing in general. There's a lot more in this field, and definitely as you start interacting with mechanical and electrical, you could have lots of fun to play with here, especially like we showed in the last videos of doing different types of board outlines with polygons. That starts to change things as well. You might have different dimensioning needs and different weirdness you have to send off to the fab. We'll have more about manufacturing and mechanical electrical integration here on Contextual Electronics. If you have questions about the feature itself, you can always go to the forum. That's forum.kicad.info, or you can check out contextualelectronics.com, which is a program that teaches you how to design electronics from scratch. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.